Yet another morph. So not even clear that Perez can chump block next turn to stay alive.
So it's trump the domains or nothing here?
Really need trump the domains. I mean, it's just 4 monsters to 6, right? He's going to get hit by Ephemeron, so he cannot afford to take even a single point of damage from anything else. And he's outnumbered.
Strength in numbers might actually win for him also.
Buzzardeer can't block anything, so...
Texted.
Strength in numbers might do it.
Perez wants to go to his attack step, but Merkel doesn't want to let him.
Do you have a Coral Trickster?
Looks like it. We tap Buzzardeers here or 3-1?
I think he tapped a 3-1. It was a Coral Trickster. He does tap the 3-1.
Taps the 3-1.
Now strength in numbers will not be enough. He needed to get in with both guys.
Bastian Perez looking at his options. Just says go. Yeah, this is the bluff that you're not even sure what you're bluffing.
Yeah, he's bluffing that the Buzzardeer can block something.
He's bluffing like a fog effect.
I mean, Chameleon Blur would be pretty exciting here.
Seen the deck list. I don't know.
I said it would be exciting. I didn't say why.
Do you memorize whether your opponent has Chameleon Blur on their sideboard?
You probably can't recall at this point.
Right. But
it's not a card you would have even taken notice of.
Yep. Merkel goes all in.
Bastian does a little math.
And scoops him up. So, game 3 goes to Merkel. Jan Moritz Merkel reaches over, changes his score himself on the feature match table.
He's a very confident player. You were just about to say the same thing.
I was. He's just the same guy against Saito that just slapped himself in sort of mock tribute to Saito's trademark. It's kind of funny. The morphs were a Slipstream Serpent and a Brian Elemental.
He really has every blue morph other than Worldbender, right?
I haven't seen Morphle.
Oh yeah, Morphle. I forget about that guy. I never feel like I have time to play him as a morph.
Wow. Up on the first table, Billy Edel has been swarming with the Saproling generated by the Verdant Embrace, and he just added a Partick Dragon to the board. Stuffy Dog cannot hold off all of that. Yeah, the Stuffy Doll did sort of hold off the Verdant Embrace creature, and so Edel's been forced to attack with nothing but the Saprolings. Still.
You remember, if you had a Verdant Embrace and somehow your opponent pacified it,
yeah, you still win.
You would still eventually just win.
Absolutely. Yep, and there you see, Edel wins the game. Didier Jones scoops him up. So 2-1 lead for the Brazilian, Billy Edel. 2-1 lead for the German, Jan Moritz Merkel.
So speaking of Germans, I heard a little interesting tidbit over lunch.
What's that?
Which is kind of bizarre that it comes from Kenji Samura.
Yeah.
Said that allegedly if Kai Bude somehow gets into the Hall of Fame next year,
somehow
he will return to play on the Pro Tour.
Wow, interesting.
And Kai is Kenji's favorite Magic player.
Yeah, there was a bit of a debate over lunch. It was Kai versus John.
Yeah.
Kenji's a Kai player apparently. Said that when he started playing, John just wasn't very good.
Right. Kenji's first Pro Tour was Pro Tour Chicago that Kai won.
Okay.
So he saw Kai and he watched him play and he said he was just in awe of how good he was. And it's what Kai demonstrated to the world when he was at his peak was that you could just be great at this game.
Right.
And it's really interesting that that's the templating that went into Kenji's brain watching Kai. He's like, oh, you can be good at this game.
Yeah.
It's not lucky, right?
Right.
And then it was kind of interesting because that same comment kind of came to me yesterday about
from
Kenji.
Julian?
Yeah, Julian's like, day one, I just realized how much luck you need
to make
succeed at this game. And then after watching Kenji, I just felt the opposite. I realized how much skill it takes to get into the top 8 of this game.
Bastian Perez is removing one of the worms.
What do you think? Bone Splitter Sliver coming in?
And adding an island to his deck. And Drifter Ildal. Hilarious. He wants the little shadow guy.
His own little fireball.
That guy can get the job done. He's also a one-mana play. Right. Comes up.
Right. And in fact, Drifter Ildal was sort of the one deck that I saw Bastian draft was not red green. I saw him draft blue red, which also had Into the Worms, I believe, and he had a lot of low cost blue plays. So he had a lot of blue 1-drops in that deck. So I mean that probably is to some extent what he's thinking with the Drifter Ildal.
Oh, it sounds like he also cut the other worm for a Flamethrower Elemental.
That sounds about right to me. I think maybe he wants to bring in Bone Splitter Sliver, and it doesn't seem to have any interaction.
Yeah, Bone Splitter sounds better than Flamethrower.
I guess there's a Spinneret Sliver in Merkel's deck.
Fair.
Well, Flamethrower seems pretty large.
Sure. No, I think Perez came to the same conclusion we did.
Well, he had enough time to look at them.
It's true. These are ugly. Get these out of my hand. Am I ever going to get this into play while it's still relevant? I've seen that guy be good. I think there are decks where the worm, being able to flash out Giant Trampler can be relevant.
But he seems at odds with Bastien's deck, which is about quick, fast plays.
Precisely. And
this really, really explosive turn. His good late game plan is Trumpet Domains. It's not going to be Havenwood 1 or whatever it's called.
Also, I think depending on the clock your opponent's putting you under. Like if your opponent is chipping away for 1 or 2 here and there, if your opponent's game plan is going to have the game last 15 turns, you're going to have time to get the worm out. But Jean Moritz does not have the 15-turn clock. He's doing his best to put a 7-turn clock on.
2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop.
Exactly.
Just keep going. Eventually, I'll find my Temporal Eddy. It's one spell. I'm very impressed with Merkel's composure. And we've talked about that a couple times. Yeah. He's watching his opponent mulligan. He seems just very, very relaxed, unflapped. He has nothing to lose.
He's the last guy to win a Pro Tour in their first Pro Tour ever. Julian did it, right?
Was that Julian's first Pro Tour?
I think so. There's definitely been people who won their first Pro Tour ever.
We could just sort of shout, and Julian
is he in the crowd?
Julian Naughton. Julian Naughton was your first Pro Tour that you played in when you won. Shake your head, yes or no.
He can't hear. I can see him. He's embroiled in a draft.
He's embroiled in a draft.
He's watching Katsuhiro Mori play.
It's worth a try.
Yeah, Bremstev bangers this in an 8-man. Funniest story I heard was Suzuki, right?
Yeah.
Takahiro Suzuki loses his quarterfinal match, looks at his watch, and realizes the under-18 side event, that big side event, doesn't start for another 10 minutes. Race is over, registers himself for a big under-18 side event.
Well, actually, he realized he had 10 minutes to make a giant pile of free food from the lunch. Shades of Berlin Worlds.
Sure.
Where Wolfgang Eder and Pierre Kroger ran off to play in side events as soon as they were eliminated in the top 8.
That's right. Oh, Merkel's got a looter going on.
And we've got the
meanwhile on the table 1, Billy Edel hasn't once again resolved Verdant Embrace.
Yeah.
A little more defense this time. And meanwhile, bad news for Bastian Perez. That Prodigal Sorcerer, his 3-1 is not happy to see Prodigal Sorcerer on the other side of the table. Sports over, Pally.